Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and we're coming to you again with another upcoming projects video. And I'm really excited about making this. I made one recently when I went to see my friend D, and he lent some amazing guns to the channel. And next week I have off because it is spring break, and hopefully I'll be able to pound through a lot of this content. But I went to see my friend Jack number 1, and I returned a lot of his Kel-Tecs that he had lent to the channel. Because remember, I was asked by many people that watch my channel, hey, can you review some more affordable guns? And Jack did not disappoint. He's like, hey, I know you hate Kel-Tec, but I've got some Kel-Tecs for you. I said, hey, I will review anything, and honestly, I want every gun that I review to perform well. And 2 of those, I think, were range report revisits, as I call them, where I review a gun that I reviewed in the past, and sometimes people will criticize a review. Sometimes I will agree with the criticisms, and sometimes I don't. But I will try to address what people think I got wrong in that review. And one of them changed my mind. I came away from that review going, you know what? I think I was wrong in my initial impressions of this gun. The other one, and I'll tell you which one it was the CP33. I could not get that gun to run. Now, I know people have made videos online where these things with extended magazines and things run great, no problems whatsoever. They run like tops. Some people have called it like the civilian version of a 22 MP7. It's that awesome of a gun. Great. And I've seen the videos, and they perform well. I tried 5 different ammunition types. I couldn't get it to run reliably. I don't know. There's some type of magic that you got to have to get this gun to run. It's a quad stack 22 long rifle pistol. Concept is really cool. I think the execution of Kel-Tec is poor, like I always say in every one of my reviews. But anyway, I had a great time. I was so glad to make all that content, and I returned the firearms to Jack. And he's like, hey, I got a few more things for you, and I want to go over that. And then I have kind of a bonus surprise one at the end, which actually I'm going to need your help on. So maybe some of you are familiar with this kind of rarer gun here in the United States, because I need to track down a screw, a grip screw, and I don't know what it is, but we'll talk about that. All right. So let's go over some of the pistols first. Okay, let's go over the non-exciting one first. I also put out a call to all of my local fans and subscribers, and I said, hey guys, I got this Olight O-Sight S that I need to review, and it uses the RMSC footprint. I have no firearms that utilize that footprint for red dots. If you have one that I can borrow, let me know. I will use that gun, and I'll install this, and if you want the sight, you can have it. Well, Jack was like, hey, you've already reviewed this gun, but it takes that footprint. This is the, did I take it out? No, I did not. It is the SIG P365 XL. And so it has that smaller red dot footprint. So right now he has a Romeo 0 on it, but I will install the O-Sight S, review it, and of course I'm going to give him the sight because first off, he's done so much for the channel. I think he's interested in that sight, but also I would have a need for it. So I will be doing that. So that's kind of a product review that we have upcoming. So that's a gun I've already reviewed, as I said, but we're just going to use it for a product review of the O-Sight S. All right, next up, let's go with another Kel-Tec. Now, when I went and picked up all those other Kel-Tecs, he said, there's one more I have. I don't know where it's at. He found it in his safe, and this is the Kel-Tec, I believe it's the P11. So this is an older discontinued model. I actually like the size of this thing. I like the idea of what it is. Seems to be just about the right size for like concealed carry. It has this weird pocket clip. Not a big fan of that. I mentioned that in the previous P32 video. But I already know the thing I'm going to hate about it. The trigger. So pull the slide back. You think it's going to be kind of a single action pull. No, this is a heavy double action pull. So essentially that is kind of like the safety. So imagine a semi-automatic pistol that feels like a double action revolver chambered in 9mm. Unfortunately for this review, we only have one mag. He only has one mag for it. I believe it holds 10 rounds. He also said this was compatible with the Smith & Wesson, oh, I forgot what model he said, but I don't have that model, Smith & Wesson pistol. So I don't know. Maybe I'll look up online, see if anybody has anything else that's compatible with the P11 that maybe I have, and I'll be able to review it with more than one magazine. But this might be one that I have to reload a couple times and like splice and cut for the review. But one more Kel-Tec. I know it's a popular gun, so excited to get to that one. He also lent me a gun that I actually owned, and I showed you guys recently, the Glock 25. He was able to pick up one locally to his surprise. He walked into one of the big box stores. They had one, and he had to buy it. Now, he has not shot this yet, but he goes, hey, he contacted me and said, listen, I know you're kind of a weirdo Glock collector. Are you going to shoot yours? And I was like, I know it sounds weird. Probably not, because I'm just that weird when it comes to some collector guns, or guns that I think are kind of cool, rare, or interesting. He goes, I picked one up. I'll lend it to you so you can review that gun and not have to shoot yours. So thank you. I appreciate that, Jack. So I have a number of magazines for this. It's a 380, essentially Glock 19 sized pistol. And I really am excited to do this because I get to go over the history of this gun. I mentioned that it's kind of an unobtainium pistol here in the United States, or was for a long time before they made a small batch here in the United States, which means they got around the importation stuff. And the only reason it was ever banned from importation was because of the caliber. That was it. Because of all the weird point systems that the ATF has for guns that need to be imported. But this is a very popular gun in South America and in Mexico and other countries where civilians are not allowed to own firearms chambered in what they call military caliber. So if the military police uses that caliber, they can't own a gun in that caliber. For whatever reason, they think it's just a weird gun control law that they have. So 380 is a real popular caliber in countries like Mexico. I think it's Argentina and Brazil. So I'll get to review a Glock 25. Next up is a revolver, and Jack has not shot this one either. This is the Ruger GP100. Chambered in .357 Magnum. You can see it even has the yellow little cylinder kind of block in there to show you that it's empty because the gun is unfired. So I know some of you guys don't like my revolver reviews. I don't blame you. I don't understand why you like any of my reviews. I'm not the most charismatic guy in the world. But this is going to be another cool revolver that I get to shoot. I'll review it both double action, single action, .357 Magnum, and .38 Special. It has the longer barrel, which I really appreciate. I like longer barrel revolvers. And like all Rugers, man, this thing it's a hefty gun. You know, their guns are cast versus forged. So like all the dimensions are just a little bit bigger than your standard Smiths. But I think for the price and what this gun is trying to be, it's probably going to be a good offering. Just kind of handling it here on the workbench, it feels like a solid gun. Ruger makes solid guns. While they might not be my favorite gun company, I think they make solid guns. So get to review that one. That one should be a relatively straight forward review. I think when it comes to the pistols, that's going to be it that Jack lent. Oh, now we get to something that he kind of built himself or assembled. And this is going to be one of the projects in the very near future that I'm going to kind of have to figure out how I want to present them. Because there's another gun that's going to the range literally like tonight or tomorrow, which is actually on the wall. It's an 8.6 rifle back here. And that one was built by my other friend, Jack number 2. And I think what I want to do is I have some guns here that are not factory guns, but I want to still review them. But I think I want to review them from the standpoint of, hey, if you're somebody that likes to assemble ARs or build rifles, here is what this rifle has feature-wise. This is what I like and don't like about it. So you can decide if this is a direction you would want to go with your build. Do you like certain parts on this gun, or do I like certain parts on this gun? What do I think works or doesn't work? Just to give other people ideas in their own build. So while I'll probably review these guns like, I always do, I will try to, in each component of the video, talk about what I like and don't like about these specific parts that were used in the build. So does that make any sense? So I don't think somebody will come to the video going, ooh, I want to know about that rifle because it's kind of a custom thing, but they'll be able to go, ooh, I like that handguard, or I don't like that handguard, or I like what Jason says about that stock choice or pistol grip choice or that lower or whatever, and be able to take information away from the video to help them in their own builds or ideas or what they want to do in the future. So this one also is kind of interesting because of the caliber. So what we have here is a custom rifle build made from a Surefire Institute. So, everyone loves Surefire lower receiver, and this is a polymer lower. Now, I have never fired a gun with a polymer lower. So really interesting. But this is chambered in 6.5 Grendel. 6.5 Grendel. Now, what's really cool about that is, besides it being a caliber that I have never shot and never reviewed, the gentleman that was pivotal in the creation and design of the 6.5 Grendel is a subscriber to my channels. Yeah. I'll just say his first. You can go online, look up 6.5 Grendel on Wikipedia, and see his name. So it's not like by me mentioning his name, I'm somehow like doxing him or anything, or going, oh, who it is, because his name literally is out there. And if you go and look up any articles or the history of the 6.5 Grendel, you'll see his name. His name is Arnie. Okay, that's all I'll say there. In fact, I've actually asked him, because he lives here in Texas. I was like, hey, if you're ever in the DFW area, how cool would it be for you to stop by here at the Texas Gun Vault and let's have like an interview? Because I do want to do interview videos. I really have one that I need to do with a lawyer that I've mentioned in the past about estate planning and guns. I really need to put that one together. It's just time consuming when it comes to the script, or the questions, I should say, that I want to ask so he can answer them. But I would like to do that same video style with the gentleman who designed the 6.5 Grendel. Obviously I know he's an expert shooter, expert marksman, and he knows a lot about ballistics. And it would be just cool to ask him some questions from an average gun guy's perspective. And I think that would make a really cool video. But this is chambered in 6.5 Grendel. 16-inch barrel, it's stainless steel. I have to get all of the information of what parts went into this. So I'm probably going to have to ask my friend Jack to tell me what barrel. Maybe he bought this upper as a complete upper. I don't know. He'll send me the information, but we'll go over it. We have like an A2 style grip, M4 buttstock here. So it's not like this is like a tricked out one with using like non-standardized parts. It really kind of seems like a mil-spec gun with a polymer lower, stainless steel barrel, and 6.5 Grendel. So we'll be able to talk about that. So this is one of those that I'm going to have to think about ahead of time before I review it and kind of structure the video. All right, so that's the new stuff from Jack number 1. Oh, yeah. Oh, another huge shout out for Jack, because I have no 6.5 Grendel ammo. And I didn't know this was coming to the channel, so I was not able to ask my channel sponsor, Brownworks, like, hey, I need some 6.5 Grendel. But Jack not only lent all these guns for me to review, he provided some ammunition. I think he gave me 100 rounds. So I'll see if I can actually pick up a little bit more, because I'd like to do a number of tests. 100 rounds, I could probably get the review done if I don't have any problems. Meaning like everything's sighted in, everything's working, because I think he said he just recently installed this SIG sight. So I might have to go see if I can pick up a little bit. I've already gotten my ammo supply for the month from Brownworks, and I don't even know how many stores around here are going to carry 6.5 Grendel. I don't know. So I'll have to see what I can find and go pick up a couple boxes. So Yeah, so a huge shout out to Jack on that one. All right. Let's talk about the surprise, or the wild card in this one. Now, unfortunately, this pistol, I can't share the whole story with you, okay? And I have to be, I know I sound like I'm going to be a little bit coded here a little bit, but it's only because the story of this gun, I was told I would be able to tell, and then later, based off of the owner and the people that he knows, based off of his history of the past, no, it's nothing illegal, by the way, nothing illegal. Let's just say working for the government in the distant past in foreign lands, okay? That's all I can say about this. He was able to acquire a Star. Now, I have never reviewed a Star pistol. These are made in Spain. They look like a 1911. There's some elements of 1911 design in them. And this is a nickel-plated one. So I definitely have to do my research on this. Now, there is the question that I needed to ask you guys. And the question is about the grip. And I have a grip screw in here. In fact, I'm kind of looking at this. Yeah, okay, so yes, I do need the, yes, it's not broken off in there. So the grip screw on the left-hand side and the top is missing. Now, I tried a 1911 grip screw. It's not the right, it's almost, but this is a little bit more narrow. I need to see if I have any Beretta 92 screws. Maybe that's going to be the same size. But if any of you know, by chance, what the screw is on this, either have one or know where I can get one. There's a few sites that sell like odds and ends, like weird springs and screws for guns that are not common. That I'm going to go kind of check their website. But I think I can still shoot this gun safely, just with the one grip screw here on the bottom, because up here it's not going to move around too much. It's between the thumb safety and the slide stop, and I think we'll be fine. But it would be sweet if I could return this to the owner with a fresh grip screw or a new set of grip screws. Now, I said also that this one was dealt with international affairs, but what's interesting about it is that it does have a U.S. import mark on it. And this is something I'm going to have to ask the owner about. This was imported to the U.S. by Intra Arms. So we got the maker's mark on this thing, the Star, we got the serial number here, and then Inter Arms, Alexandria, Virginia is the import mark. So I just don't know a lot about Star, except for what I've seen maybe on like Forgotten Weapons. And I'm curious how this was other places in the world. So I just need to find out that from the owner and get that story. As I said, I can't tell you. I wish I could, because the story behind this gun is crazy. And it'd be so awesome to share that with you. I used to have a little segment on my old channel before it was taken down by YouTube called A Gun and a Story. And I would take, guns that I either had in for review. At that time, I didn't have any guns really that many in for review. But I would bring out a gun from my collection that had some type of story to it. Sometimes it might be a mundane story that you might find boring. Or it might be one that was just sentimental to me, or whatever. Like, I remember showing off my my dad's Charter Arms revolver. It's called the Undercover. It's a first-generation Charter Arms, made like in 64, I think is when it was, based off of the serial number range. And I talk about how now I own that gun. And my dad's still alive, so it's not like I inherited it. He gave it to me. But that was the very first gun I ever laid eyes on as a kid. Yeah, it was. So it was kind of cool to have that now in my collection. It's not the greatest revolver or anything. And the story behind that gun is he acquired that gun from his stepdad, because I think my dad had a Mercury Comet. And he gave my stepdad... I'm sorry. Yeah, he gave he gave his stepdad the Mercury Comet. And I want to say he got don't quote me on this, he got the revolver, I think some cash, and a refrigerator for that Mercury Comet. That's, I think, the story. I'll have to double check with my dad. So it's just kind of an interesting thing, and my dad had it for a long time, and that was the first gun I ever laid eyes on as a kid. I know he didn't want to show it to me for a long time or any of that, but I remember seeing that gun. So that's kind of the story behind it. But I used to have like a little series where I would, if I had a gun that had a cool story, I would talk about it and try to document the history of guns, because sometimes people look at these as just tools, which I hate. I really don't like it when people in the gun world look at pistols as just tools. Yes, they are. Some are. I fully get it. But some of these have stories, and they have provenance to them. They have a documented story to tell. Sometimes that's from a mechanical standpoint, a company standpoint. Sometimes it's from an actual usage standpoint, or it was at a certain place at a certain time. And that's what this gun has, and I wish I could share it with more people. So hopefully when people, if you ever get to meet me in person, ask me the story of this gun. But I'm excited to get a chance to review this, because I've only seen this on channels like Forgotten Weapons. But I promised the owner, who's a really fascinating guy. I mean, this guy is fascinating. Let me tell you the stories this guy has to tell. He's been all over the world. He's kind of like an international man of mystery. He really is. The more I find out about him, I'm like, what? Yeah, it's just crazy people you meet in life. He's hung out with Donald Trump twice. Okay, before he was president. So it's just kind of weird. It's just like, he's like, oh yeah, I guess I could tell you this story. Okay, so he was at Trump Hotel and Casino in, was it New Jersey? It's Atlantic City, I think is where it's at. And I guess he was at the blackjack table, and there came in this big whale. And if you guys don't know what a whale is, it's like the guy that spends a lot of money. And this guy was putting money down on the table. We're talking lots of money. And Donald Trump was there, and I guess the legal thing is, if there's more money on, you can't have more money at stake than the casino has on hand. So, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't know how they know that, track that kind of stuff. They have to know how much they have, like, in the, I don't even call it the money room, the counting room or whatever, and then how much money is being wagered. And this guy came in, not my friend, but my friend was there when this happened. Was wagering more than the casino might have in the counting room. So they had to shut things down for this guy to play. And Donald Trump had to personally come down and watch the table. He came down and watched everything. And he said that he sat next to him and watched all this stuff go down. One time back in, I was at the 80s, I think it was, 80s or 90s. Anyway, fascinating story. This guy has stories. It's just crazy. Good friend of ours, international man of mystery. And when he told me the story about this gun, I was like, I got to be able to review that. Even if I can't tell the story, this is a cool one, because how often do you get to review a Spanish pistol? Kind of like a 1911. It does have a magazine disconnect safety. So it's like a 1911, but the hammer won't drop unless the magazine is in it. Now, this is also another thing I have to go look up. This is a 9mm. He only has one mag for it. I think he says he has some elsewhere, but he couldn't find them at the time. So maybe I'll be able to pick those up from him sometime in the near future. I'd like to, but if I can't, I need to know if this is compatible with anything. So I might need to see if I have any 9mm 1911 magazines. Maybe that would fit. I don't know. So if you happen to know, is there any magazine compatibility with a Star 9mm? And what is the actual model of this thing? This is the, well, it says Star, maybe it says SA, caliber 9mm. It says it was made in Eibar, E-I-B-A-R, Eibar, Spain, I guess. There's some markings here on the bottom. It says BM. Maybe that is a inspector mark. The serial number, the import markings, but it doesn't really have like a model or model name. Maybe SA is the model name, but it's nickel plated. The grips are mother of pearl, I guess, and you can even see the Star engraved, or the logo in there, embossed or engraved into the grips. So But I promised him I'd take this apart and also do like a full like cleaning on this. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. And then last, my friend Jack he bought me some lubricant to try on the guns. I've never tried this. It's called Pro Gold Lubricant, gun lubricant. Have any of you guys used this? He says this little bottle will last you forever. You take a little bit of it onto a Q-tip and you just put it like in the rails, and it just works like great. So I'm excited to try this. So now when I clean the guns, I'm going to start trying some of this stuff out. I've been using the Lucas gun oil, and sometimes I'll use, what's the other oil I used to use? I don't have any more of it. I totally forgot. But yeah, but everyone, not everyone, but other people say this is really good. So I'm excited to try this out. So thank you again, Jack. And thank you again, you know who? Well, here you go. His name's Alan, okay? I don't think I'm giving any information away there. His name is Alan. So thank you, Alan, for lending the star to the channel. That's going to give me some really interesting content. So there we go. So let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below. If you made it to the end of the video, which, by the way, this is not the end of the video. I have one more thing I want to talk about, but I want to give you the word of the day first. It's going to be star. Star is the word of the day because Jack is a star for lending these guns to the channel, and I'm going to review a star pistol, okay? So there we go. Also tell me, what is the grip screw size on a star if you happen to know? I'm going to go look it up anyway and see if I can track one down. And does anybody know if there's any magazine compatibility with the star? Is it a 9mm 1911 mag? I don't know. If it is, I think I have one. So anyway, there we go. Okay, so that's the end of the gun portion of the video. So if you click away now, I totally understand, because now we're going to talk about watches. Okay, you can click away. You clicked away yet? Are you still here? Okay, you're still here. So I know some of you guys like it when I talk about watches because you're watch people. So I want to talk about something really cool. Next week, actually it's in 6 days, is my birthday. So I did a watch trade. I've never done a watch trade before. So you guys know I had a Rolex no-date Submariner 2024. So it was like less than a year old. And I really liked it. It was all black. And I love that watch. It was really cool. Looked great. Goes with everything. Classic. But I got to tell you something. Now, you guys are going to laugh because when I tell you what I traded, I traded that watch. Some of you guys are going to say I made a mistake because the black is the classic. It goes with everything. But I'm going to tell you, my heart is green. It always loves green. Green everything. I love green accents. Even I can show you back here. When I had Brownworks make me a set of custom grips for my Colt Commander with the Texas Gun Vault logo, I got green. I just love green. Green everything. Now I like green and black as a combo. I mean, if it's too green, it's too much. But I had an opportunity to trade my Rolex no-date Black Submariner 2024 for a 2023 Rolex Starbucks. So it's essentially it's a Submariner with the green bezel, and this is being a 2023. It's the lighter color. I guess they kind of went back to a color that was reminiscent of what they called the Kermit, back when they used to use aluminum bezels. So this one does have a date complication on it. Let's see if I can get there. I know the color is probably not going to be all that good on it. It's a year older. It's in the same shape, like new, but it has the green bezel. And these are a little bit more desirable because of the rarity of the green bezel. But I kind of wish they offered this in a no date, because I like the symmetry of the dial. But they don't have that. But they had one at the local watch shop that I get all of my watches from. And when I knew that, I messaged the salesman that I've worked with. I was like, hey, Adrian, you know that black sub I have? My heart has always wanted the green. Always wanted. Can we do a trade? We worked out a trade. So, yeah, I have this. So if you're a Rolex fan, what do you think of that? Now, I know I said some people are going to go, ooh, the black is the classic. It is. Man, I could not be happier. Man, I could not be happier. I love the green. Man, that's just the right color for me. Man, I know it kind of stands out, but I love it. I love it. So that's just a little bit of watch talk. And also, I went to a different watch store lately, and I'll tell you, there's a watch that I want. Really, it's more of a watch brand. And tell me if you have one. I'm kind of getting into those Casio G-Shocks, but they have a couple like higher end ones that I'm really interested in. But if you own a Casio G-Shock, tell me what you think. I know that a lot of people love them, and but tell me your experiences with them. So anyway, so what do you think of the Rolex Submariner with the green colorway, the green bezel, and the black dial? I guess kind of colloquially known as the Starbucks. So anyway, so now let me know what you think in the comment section below about anything I talked about in this video. Thank you for joining me here in the garage. I always enjoy our interactions. And as always, thanks for watching.